Hello class, this is Demetrius Wilson again, Principles of Management, Chapter 7, Part 2 of the lecture. Guess I wasn't paying too close attention to the timer, but our 15 minutes was up. So we only have 11 more slides for the remainder of Chapter 7, so I should get through this pretty quickly. Growth drives change. Started in the garage, Widemer Brothers Brewing Company merged with Red Hook Ale Brewing in a brewery in 2007 to form the 11th largest brewery in the United States by 2008. Right? So some things, you do what you love, turns into a hobby, you do it well, you just don't know how huge it may grow. And I always admire the individuals that have that entrepreneurial spirit and go out there because they know what they have is great. Resistance to change takes so many forms, and we watched the video that I have kind of really explains why people resist change. And until I watched that video, I didn't understand it as much as afterward. So you have active resistance, right? Somebody's actively resistant. Demetrius, I hate your idea. I'm not doing it. I'm crossing my arms. No way. Passive resistance, so you're doing things like a passive aggressive person would do. I send you something to do, and you just say, "Oh, I missed it. I didn't see the email," but you really saw it. You just didn't want to do it. Compliance, you don't like my idea, but you know what? You want to stay in compliance, and you don't want to get fired, so you're going to go ahead and do what you need to do. And enthusiastic support, you're like, "Rah, rah, Demetrius, this is a great idea. Best thing since sliced bread. Let's continue to do it and move forward." I'll add a video about this as well. This is resistance and the Dvorak keyboard, and this is great. This is actually a keyboard. If you're looking at it and you're looking down at your keyboard, it doesn't look the same. You can actually type faster on this keyboard. But here's the thing: if we were to switch to this keyboard, you would have to uh, take take all the people who are teach typing and all of that and retrain them. You would have to take all the computers and scrap those. And I know how to do it. You actually take a butter knife and you flip your keys out. You set your computer so it goes for the Dvorak, and you can actually do it. Wouldn't advise it, but it is actually faster. So if it's faster, why do we resist the change? Because the QWERTY method, which you look down, it says QWERTY on the keyboard, that was actually only created because they started using typewriters, and they actually did it so it could slow down. If you remember, some of you guys are too young to remember, like a typewriter had this little thing and it was go back and go don't like that, but if you type too fast it would get caught together, so they put the keys a certain place so it could slow it down. So resistance prohibited the Dvorak keyboard from becoming the norm, and it will forever. Why people resist change? Disrupted habits, personalities. Sometimes they're just those people. We love them, but they're those people. Feelings of uncertainty, fear of failure, personal impact of change, prevalence of change, and perceived loss of power. And we have those people as well. I no longer have any power. Well, you know what? You didn't have any power in the first place. Whatever it is that you think you're hiding under the cover or under the mattress, as far as your skills and abilities, somebody else will come along. They'll figure out how to do it eventually, and that you won't have that crutch to hang on anymore. More discussion questions, always love those. Can you think of an organizational or personal change that you had to go through? I had to go through plenty. Did I like all of them? No, not necessarily, but I still either comply with them or, was a cheerleader on the side for them as well. So go through those discussion questions. Think about it and think about why you really resisted the change. For example, I'll give you an example that'll help you along with this one. Uh, I didn't like the change of the fact that a company I worked for, we could start at 8:30 and got paid from 8 to 5. And then they said no more of that. I didn't like that change, but I had to comply with it. I also didn't like the fact that we used to get paid a check at the end of the year for our sick time because I never called in sick. I got a nice fat check at the end of the year. And I didn't like that that went away. But you know what? That's the company's decision, and I had to deal with that change, right? So it's not like I was rah rah happy about it, but I definitely dealt with it. And this is Lewin's three-stage process of change. And it really helps with kind of understanding change because People just say, oh, just change. And that's what sometimes managers think. So managers and employees have to understand this both. Sometimes managers say, oh, change. Well, it doesn't quite work like that. So if you follow it this way, it says ensure that employees are ready for change. So how do you ensure they're ready for change? Communicate with them. Just because I go in and tell somebody things are about to change doesn't mean they have to love it and they're going to jump up and give me a hug. No, they may not be that happy about it, but you have to inform them, communicate with them, let them know, and then we move forward. And then you want to go ahead and unfreeze, right? So whatever you were doing, we want to unfreeze so that you can change to what we're going to be doing. Now, you enter change, you execute the intended change. This is the new process. We used to take block A and put it on top of block B, but now we're going to take block A and set it right beside block B. That is the change. And then we swing over to ensures that the change becomes permanent by refreezing. Now we take the block A and we set it right by block B, and we do it over and over again so that we ensure that we've refroze this process and it does not go back to the original way of doing things. Organizations preparing for change. And so, just like I said, these are things that you should do. Communicate a plan for change, develop a sense of urgency, build a coalition, provide support, and allow employees to participate. These are the things that you should do to prepare for change. Executing and facilitating change, you want to continue to provide support. Create small wins. Small victories are great. You got to pick that low-hanging fruit, right, to keep your eye on the long-term goal. And then you want to eliminate obstacles. So there'll always be obstacles in the way of change. You want to eliminate those obstacles and make sure you get to the end result. Refreezing and making change part of the culture. Publicize success, right? So you want to let people know this is what we did, this is the change, and this is the success that we had. A lot of times managers leave that part out. You want to share concrete results, right? Not made up results, but concrete results with employees. You want to reward change adoption, publicly recognize those who are giving support to the change effort, and embrace continuous change. We're in a world and environment of continuous change. Things get bigger, stronger, faster every day. You want to set up a dynamic feedback loop. So more great discussion questions such as what are the benefits of employee participation in change management? Well, I'll tell you right now, I've done it the wrong way, so I know 100% how to do it the right way. I was at a company and I was managing one division, and they said, hey, we want you to manage this other division. So I said, okay, and I knew what the other division, because I worked with them before, I knew what they were doing wrong. So I just came in and laid down the law. I said, hey, this is your process. This is what's going to be in a week, and I need for you all to change it, and basically just left the room. Now, yes, they did it probably for fear of losing their job, but what I should have done is sat down with them, collaborated, listened to their ideas, whether I thought they were going to be bad or not, do some some understanding and some fact finding, and then come back and say this is what we're going to do. But I went about it all wrong. It's quite some years ago, but it's good because it was a learning experience, and I learned what I should not do, which sometimes helps you a lot more than learning what you should do. Your professional strategy for promoting change. So listen for clues from naysayers. Hey, I've had people on my teams before, naysayers. Now, you may hate them, but you should love them because they're always going to be negative. They're always going to come up with what's wrong. But that's just like having somebody who's an auditor. They're going to find all the holes that could be punched into whatever your game plan is, and they're going to fix them for you long before you, publicize it to the rest of the company. So you should be glad that you have those individuals. Embrace them. Propose the change by reinforcing the benefit. Seek and retain involvement. Acquire trust and expert power. Be prepared to defend and provide evidence. Appeal your proposal to the audience's ideals, and understand and respect the reasons for resistance. I understand and respect your reasons for resistance, but yeah, a lot of times things are going to change whether you want to change or not. And last but not least, another couple discussion questions. What do you think are some key reasons why people resist change? Maybe think about that, have some discussions about it, but then maybe return back and look at these two questions after you watch the video on change. So as always, have a good day and a great week. At least I didn't get all the way to the end of 15 minutes in the lecture part 2. And we will continue, and we'll be on to chapter 8 next.